As a kid, we have all been asked this question: what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember never being able to answer that question. But I think humans tend to strive for purpose in life, and I believe I have found my purpose. Growing up, I remember thinking one day I want to be a pilot or a big businessman or something to do with karate. It was never anywhere close to the arts or filmmaking. This just happened a few years ago when I watched a YouTube video, got inspired, learned editing, signed up on the freelancing platform, and made thousands of dollars. And my parents were like, "How are you doing this?"
It's funny how life works out like that. I still remember the sensation when I searched this for the first time. Which camera to buy as a beginner? And those 7 words changed my life entirely. Now that I think about it, I was always drawn to making videos. Whether it was a cringy videos with my friends or vlogs entirely shot at home because I didn't have money to go out. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I want to share what pushed me to learn all of this. Why I am trying to be a filmmaker, why I am trying to be a better storyteller. How this one video changed the entire trajectory of my life, consumed my life completely. It hit me so hard, so fast, and all of this happened because of a YouTube video. And I think maybe this video, this story, my story might change someone else's life.
Hey, what you need, yeah? Man, I got it, wow. What you say, hey? We about it, get the cream.
It all started a couple of years ago. I was in Delhi in a hotel room with my friends and we were watching this video from cold. At the time, I didn't know who he was, and he just published this video titled Hate Him, one of the masterpieces on YouTube, by the way. It wasn't the entire video that fucked up my head, but this one particular transition that he did. After seeing that transition, I was like, this was my exact reaction. And remember, at this point, I didn't know anything about editing. What software there is to edit, nothing. I wasn't even aware of the fact that camera body and lenses are two separate things. So you can imagine how awestruck I was when I saw this. The moment I saw this transition, I was like, I wanna do this. But how the hell did he do it? I didn't know. So I searched whatever terms I could think of and figured out that Premiere Pro was the software that he was using to edit this video. But it was 2,500 rupees per month and I didn't have any money. So I called up a friend.
हेलो
यार ये प्रीमियर प्रो का क्रैक डालना है पीसी में.
डल जाएगा पर चलेगा नहीं.
क्यों? Because this thing didn't have what it took to run this software. But I was in Delhi for a month and this PC was at home. So I just got it installed on my friend's laptop and started messing around. I spent almost 20 days making my first 50-second video. Then after learning and practicing this for months, just out of curiosity, I was talking to my friend about this and he said,
why don't you sign up for a freelancing platform and make money while doing this?
And that's what I did. I signed up for this freelancing platform and started making a little bit of money in the very start. But soon enough, I was making more than I could ever imagine, doing what I thought was my new hobby. So I was like, this is cool. I like what I do. I don't get bored doing it. I am also making living doing it as well. So let's just explore it more and see what happens. So I started exploring filmmaking aspect of it rather than the editing process and techniques. And that's when I found Peter McKinnon, Matt DiVella, Matty Hapoya, Danny Kivitz, and so many other incredible artists from all around the world. And before I knew it, I was hooked. I watched every tutorial, every video, every review they made, and the art of filmmaking started to tighten its grip around me. I couldn't think of anything else. Day and night, all I was thinking, I know how to edit and I know I want to do this. And if I can feel so much joy even thinking about making a video, actually making a video will be 100 times satisfying. And lo and behold, I was right. So I did all of the research and watched so many videos about this camera that every creator was using at the time. I saved up everything and I got this camera. And I remember holding it in my hands for the first time. I couldn't believe it. that every creator I watch is using this camera to make their videos, and I just bought this. And at that point, I thought, yeah, I want to be a filmmaker. I was doing very well at this point and I wanted to give it my all. So I moved out of my parents' house and rented this expensive place that was too big for me just to make videos. Did all of that and made 3 videos in a year, which didn't do anything because let's face it, I was very bad at it. So I started exploring the idea of learning it from professionals, that is, film school. So again, I did all of the research I could. Turns out that the best filmmaking school in the world is New York Film Academy, but also very, very expensive. I knew I couldn't afford it, my family couldn't afford it, but still I applied and poured my heart out in the statement of purpose, and then I received this email. I was happy, but I knew I couldn't afford it, even after the scholarship. So I explored other venues in schools, and Toronto Film School caught my eye because it was much cheaper than NYC and most of my friends are in Canada as well. So without overthinking, I applied and got selected for a film production diploma. I was so happy when I read the email because I knew I'll be able to afford it. My friends are already there and somewhere in the process of getting there. It will be a hell of a time there. But life doesn't always work how you want it to work. It had other plans. After receiving the offer letter from the school, I applied for a study visa, but it was rejected because they said I have a background in mechanical hair, so you can't go for this course. My heart was broken, shattered even. But I thought I clearly made some mistakes here. I was naive about it. I thought that the statement of purpose I sent to the embassy didn't work as I wanted it to work. That maybe my aim and love for this thing didn't come across in my writing. So I did what every other rational man would do. I hired a writer. After a few days, he sent me the SOP and he did much better job than I ever did. And this time I'm getting it for sure. But now, this was the second time I applied and got rejected. So I thought I'm not giving up on this thing this easy. So I talked to a professional agent and did all of the documentation because clearly I'm making some mistakes here. So we did all the documentation and applied for the third time, keeping our finger crossed the entire time. And this time, at this point I was like, this is it. This is not going to happen for me. But I wanted to be there. I wanted to learn and make fucking movies. I was frustrated as you can imagine. But my love for this art overpowered me again and I applied for the 4th and last time. But this time I said it to myself, if I'm not getting in this time, that's it. I'm not applying for any other school ever. And after applying for the 4th time, I received this another life-changing email. You thought I got it this time, didn't you? Well, I didn't. But it was clear that this wasn't going to happen for me. So what's next? So I thought I would learn here on YouTube as I did video editing. And I'll do the same thing for filmmaking and get better day by day. So I spent every penny I saved up to build this studio above my home to make these videos, which is also not complete yet. And now if I could go back to my childhood and if anyone asked me the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I can very happily say, I want to be a filmmaker.